We have so much division. There's so much hatred. There's so much violence happening right now. We have people that are abusing and being abused. We have government and police officers that are abusing, and some of us are coming out and we're saying, look, it's not right. We can't keep supporting police who do this. It's not about not supporting law enforcement. I support law enforcement. It's that we don't have law enforcement. And people are getting really angry. The Patriot community is dividing so fast, friends. We're dividing so fast that we're coming apart at the seams. Now here's what's happening. You're seeing the violence increase, the protests increase, and most of these people protesting, regardless of what faction they're from, are protesting a real thing. They're tired of being abused. America is tired of being abused, friends. Everyone's tired of seeing their families locked away in prisons, killed on the side of the road, and people say, well, I'm a patriot, and so I support the police. Look, support law enforcement, but don't support police who don't honor their oath. And so they say, well, that person over there deserves it. They were being disruptive. Look, we watched in Baton Rouge last night, folks, as hundreds of police, they came onto private property, they trespassed, they arrested people, and people make excuses and they say things like, well, someone threw a bottle at them. Friends, our police, and I'm begging our police officers, those of you that have any spark of conscience left in you, I don't hate police. I love my neighbor. And so you have to come out from among them. You have to separate yourselves from among them. And the same goes for Christians, and it goes for patriots. The love of God, the love of Christ, the love of liberty, it doesn't compromise. It's not different from me or for that faction over there. It doesn't matter if it's black or white or pink or purple. Friends, we have to start uniting and loving our neighbors. Look, it's so vile. The bile, the hatred is growing so much. We're getting another faction. Now we have this faction over here, and then we have the Patriot faction, and then we have the split off from the Patriot faction that's saying, well, if you don't support my cop friends, I'm not with you. Friends, I don't support anyone's faction. You can't support faction. People are saying, Gavin, you're coming against police. You're hating police. I'm coming against wickedness and tyranny, friends. Look back to Lexington Concord. The law enforcement of the day, the federal government of the day, it wasn't that all the redcoats were evil men. It wasn't that they hated them. Some of them were their friends and their neighbors. But at some point, you have to make a choice. Are you going to stand with God and with liberty, with the Constitution? Are you going to love your neighbor, or are you going to stand in solidarity with those that are abusing them? See, I'm talking to police, friends, often ex-police, and I'm hearing this a lot. The good cops are walking away so fast. Most of them are already gone from the police forces because they're saying we couldn't do what they told us to do. We couldn't do it. We couldn't abuse people like that. I know there's a lot of you. I'm going to speak directly to the police officers now who think I hate you, but I do not. There's a lot of you in there, and you signed up to be police because you wanted to do good, because you wanted to help people. And you're seeing this conflict. You're seeing the hatred, rage, and you're looking around and you're thinking, well, I'm being attacked, but you know what? You just have to decide to stand with good. And so if you stand up with good, if there's a sheriff out there anywhere who will not just talk, who will stand up, you have to start arresting the lawless judges who universally violate due process. You have to start throwing out the federal agents. You have to start freeing the prisoners. Friends, I talk to people, the Bundys and their families and the Finnecums, families who have lost loved ones. We have patriots locked away in prison. There's almost no one left out here speaking out. Some days I feel alone. Some days I feel like there's so little I can do. Some days I feel like it's lost, but my hope rests in God because I love my neighbor. I don't hate. I don't want this division, but we have to separate from evil. And I don't care if you're a patriot or if you're a police officer, come out from among them. No one has the right to abuse the rights of their fellow man, no matter their badge or their position. No one has the right to abuse the rights of others. Friends, if Ammon were out here today right now, I think he would remind us that police are supposed to be peace officers. They're supposed to be peacemakers. You don't be a peacemaker by putting on armor and going down the street with clubs and pepper spray and guns and arresting people. They should be the ones stepping in between us and saying, friends, let's be peace lovers. Let's love liberty. So officers, if you want to be law keepers, if you want to be peacemakers, you have to stand up in your own factions too. The sheriffs, you have to stop just talking. You're not above us. You don't have a special authority. The Constitution doesn't give you any authority over your fellow man any more than it gives me. And all the laws that you enforce that violate the Constitution are illegal. And if you enforce them, you place yourself in a state of war against your fellow man, and you render yourself to be treated accordingly. And you will be. I fear for our police officers because you keep abusing your fellow man, and I've been warning you for years. The lynch mobs are coming, and now we're seeing the beginnings of a French Revolution. We're seeing people angry, and we're seeing some people start to act without principle and retaliation. We don't need retaliation. We need a bold stand. We need to start defending people. We need to start breaking the doors off the prisons. This means we have to stand up. We have to start disobeying the government, and yes, the police. The police system in America is not law enforcement anymore, friends. It's a system of coercion and extortion that enforces the government's tyranny. Now, if there's good officers in there, if there's those of you that want to do right, you signed up to help people, then get out here with us and help people. But make no mistake, the government's corrupt system that writes your paycheck is not going to let you. Who writes your paycheck is your master. The same goes for the people in the military, the government workers. We're going to have to come out and honor our oath because the Oath Keeper organizations aren't doing it. They're compromised. The political organizations aren't doing it. They're compromised. Friends, please, I implore you, stop killing, stop hurting each other, stop allowing your fellow man to be abused, stop allowing people to be trampled in the streets, stop being silent, stop making excuses for when we hurt each other. Be forgiving, be compassionate, be loving, but stand boldly, and please defend the innocent. Free our prisoners. The jails have to be torn down. The prisons have to be torn down. They're full of people who have not been given due process. We have to restore law to this land. Congress isn't going to do it. The presidential election's not going to do it. We have to stand up and repent and seek God and love our neighbor. Please, I implore you, do not seek violence. Do not seek hate. But do not be afraid to stand bold and call out wickedness. I'm going to do it, whether anyone likes it or not. If I stand alone on the field, if I stand alone against all odds, I'm still going to be out here. I'm still going to be standing because I'm not going to be silent, and I'm not going to let my neighbor be abused, whether they're a patriot or whether they're a Muslim or whether they're a black man. It doesn't matter. The rights of all men. We hold these truths that all men are created equal. Those are the truths God holds. Those are the truths I hold. And I implore you to stop fighting, stop hating, and love your neighbor as yourself.